I hunt and fish with the same people. I'm related to almost all of them. We grew up doing it in my family, so it's very much a family activity. Mm-hmm. Every male, I have a ton of daughters. They're all marrying men who are interested in that kind of stuff, which I'm so grateful to God for.
That's such a great feeling there.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. I fished with a couple of them last week for salmon, and I'm just really feel blessed. I'm on Streamside. We went to this salmon pool. It's like ridiculously beautiful. I really just try and fish in Maine now. I try not to leave Maine just in general, but we did take this trip to Western Norway, and there's really no one there, and it's incredibly beautiful, just incredibly beautiful. And the salmon pool, which is at the top of a fjord leading into the ocean, many miles up the fjord, and the salmon come up to spawn, it's just like so picturesque. It's like out of a movie. And we got there one morning at dawn, big fire going streamside, coffee and Norwegian muffins, and with all the men in my family, standing there in down jackets, it's freezing.
Right.
And I just thought, I don't think I've been this happy like in my life. It makes me emotional.
Just peace.
Oh, yeah.
Complete
like your family
peace.
And like, I definitely grew up, with no females in our family. I grew up with my dad and my brother, and there was definitely a feeling, often expressed, that like these activities are not for women. Mm-hmm. They're just not. And my father was very pro-woman and really loved women, quite a bit, actually.
We all do.
Yeah, well, anyway, but he had a very strong belief that, like, it's not the place for women. I mean, I remember as a kid going on duck hunting a lot. We went on a duck trip, and somebody brought his wife on the trip, and the whole thing was just like, I can't believe he did that. Like, that's just shocking behavior. Bring a girl on a duck trip. Like, what are you doing?
What are we doing? Yeah.
Get your household under control. And it's been one of the incredible changes in my life. I have not gotten more liberal as I've gotten older, just the opposite. However, I have a daughter-in-law, I don't want to embarrass her, but who comes on the trips and is a good fly fisherman and a really good wing shot. A daughter-in-law. And it's I just love it.
Right.
I love it. I can't believe my father's gone. He loved her, so I don't think he would be against. I never told him.
Right.
She would come on trips with us because it was like, he was too old. It was like too much to get into his head. But it's been a real blessing. I have a daughter who's a great shot and a really good double-handed caster. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of I'm like, I can't believe this. I mean, I was fishing with this one daughter. I won't name any of these people because it'll embarrass. They'd be horrified if they knew I was talking about this. But I was standing streamside and I watched this one daughter who was there with her fiance, and she just picks up this double hand. It was like a 8-weight with a 250 grain line. I mean, it's a big fly rod,
right?
14 feet long. Picks it up, gets it in the air, and just whoosh, shoots it right across this pool. And I'm like, that's like the prettiest thing I've ever seen.
Just a pro cast.
Dude.
Boom. Yeah.
And then sticks a salmon, a big salmon. And,
no way.
Oh, yeah. Lands it. I'm like, oh.
Like, did Outdoor Channel just
so
get to
happy.
tell me we had a cameraman in the pine tree?
No. There's one thing my family doesn't like.
Don't want to be videoed.
No.
Yeah.
No. They're totally opposed. They've always been. They never really mention my job. And but they all disapprove.
Yeah, they don't want to be on video.
They don't. No.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, there are so many things I like about it, but nature, family, beauty. I mean, it's the struggle for me is not to become like a total lunatic about it and like neglect my duties, which are real. I mean, I'm the head of a really big family, and I like have things I need to do, just like everybody does. But I could, and I think you ask any middle-aged man who likes nature, like, what do you dream about before you go to bed? And it's definitely not banging some stripper. I mean,
no, it's not.
No, that whole thing.
If it is, then obviously that's where the devil gets into.
Well, for sure. But I actually feel like the temptation, it's not even that I'm like such a virtuous person that I'm not thinking about strippers. It's the nature of the temptation changes. And actually, it is unhealthy, like in some way. I perceive it as unhealthy in myself. Like sometimes I'll be sitting, there'll be a lot going on, or I'll be looking at the continued degradation of Western civilization, and it really weighs on me. And I'll be like, I just want to go to my camp for the winter alone, obviously with my spaniels. It's not really alone, but just me and my dogs. And like, how much food would I need to like, because you can't get there actually in the winter. It's literally not possible without a helicopter to get there in the winter. So I was like, what would it be like? And I fantasized about this a lot. And that's like a kind of bad escapism, I think.
I understand.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And there's a certain, to a degree, you're right. That thought, you can go too far with it. In one way, it can also be, for me, like if you think about, especially the Western world now, we're always trying to figure out, what'd you make last year? What did that? What did you got this? It's all about these material things that you can put your hands around in the world. And pretty much what we've been talking about is the spiritual part of the outdoors and nature and fly fishing. And I often have thought, and I've said this probably too many times, but I have thought deep on those type of things. It reminds me, if you were to lose it all, you might gain everything if you got that. Meaning those simple things are sometimes the most peaceful.
Oh, by far.
And so, in the rat race of the world, and I know you've lived the rat race.
Well, I certainly have. But I do think that we are called to be useful.
Correct.
In this world. It's not just about us. We have duties, and we're not here for very long. And I do think, this is like my, Yankee Protestant culture upbringing, but like we have a duty to like try to make things a little bit better or something. It's not just about us and feeling peaceful and happy. Like we should engage. You got to engage. And by the way, other people are the point of life. It's not, solitude has its place. I really prize it, as I've said, but I also think like, being with other people, helping other people, listening to other people, those are really important things. And I found myself in late June, there was all this stuff going on with Iran, and I had been, on the periphery of it, but pretty intensely on the periphery of it. And I was very distressed by what was happening. It was just not what I wanted at all. And I was feeling very sad about it. And man, the next thing you know, I just cleared my calendar. I got those spaniels, and I went up and I found myself alone at our camp. And it was just at the end of trout season here, which is a pretty hard ending because it gets warm and the trout go deep and whatever. It wasn't even about the fishing. It was about, I had a million chores in my head, which seemed so important to me to do. Build something I needed to build and fix that and do that and move this here and trim these trees or whatever I was doing. And I became so obsessed with it. And I spent 2 days up at my camp by myself eating, the crap food that I eat when I'm by myself in the woods, which is just like cheese and crackers. And, but I was like so desperate to do all these things that I'm like, why am I acting like this? Because I was running away from
escaping.
I was escaping. That's exactly right.
I heard it was a country artist I was talking to the other day, and he said that he's an extrovert that gets his refuel and power through introversion.
Totally.
And I feel like that's it. And you said something, Tucker, and I don't know, there's a handful of right now modern day, where there's podcast journalism that's doing this, that you're right. There's a part of solitude that when times get tough, you just want to go off on this deserted island or riverbank and just, make your bear stew.
It's a pattern, particularly in men. Your wife's pissed at you. You're not exactly sure why.
True.
Well, true, of course.
I don't know what I did.
No.
Yeah.
And she'll never tell you because she doesn't even really know, probably. And so what that moment requires is engagement from you and patience from you. And you need to sit and say, I can tell something's wrong. Whatever you're saying is wrong is not really what's wrong. So let's just sit and talk and figure it out. And that is the basis of a happy marriage, that process right there, in my opinion. And every man's instinct is like, she's crazy. I'm leaving. I can't deal with this. I've got things to do, whether it's play with my kids or go to work or people golf. In my case, it's, I want to run away to my camp and, perfect my Skagit cast or whatever. But it's the same instinct, which is to run from complicated, hard things. And I don't ever want my love of the outdoors to become an excuse to run away from things that I have an obligation to solve, to engage with, to tangle with sometimes. And I was just, so anyway, and by the way, I will say of that trip that I'm still thinking about, like, why did I do that? It was more like desperate than anything else. It wasn't like, oh man, I really want to just enjoy the beauty up here. It was like, no, I've got things to do. And I was like, I didn't even eat. I worked for like 12 hours. I can't even remember what I cleaned out the workshop. You know, it's that kind of thing. Like, we have all these dead paint cans and no one moves any shit out of here. And it was like that, you know, it was like kind of crazy actually. And so you have to address the issue, you know, because the goal is peace and perspective, happy relationship with the people around you, knowledge of God, service to God. You know, it's like, you know what the goal is, and you can't use that stuff, hunting and fishing, as a way to run away.